Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 6 English lesson on usage error. All right, so we're doing our grade 6 English lesson on usage errors. And before we start, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. So you're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca with your username as well as your password. Once you've selected your username and your password, and then you're going to select the subject of language arts and then grade 6. Once you've selected the grade, and then you're going to scroll down up until you get to the chapter of usage errors. So we'll be doing the chapter of usage errors, right? So chapter is usage errors. The subject is English, which is language arts, grade 6. And our lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of usage errors is to correct errors with signs. So basically, we are going to look at the different signs and the errors that is basically on the signs. And that is why we call it usage errors, right? And when it comes to signs, right? If we drive along the road and then we usually see, let's say, some people would call it billboards, some people would call it signs, right, on the side of the roads, right? And I'm not even just talking about the road signs. It can be any signs, advertisements or stuff that they put on the side of the road, specifically on the billboards. So when putting on signs, it is basically a way of advertising either your product, advertising your service, right? Or just basically celebrating certain things or people by putting it or the picture or certain words on this big billboard, right? All right, so also when it comes to the usage errors, right, we said correct errors with signs. So which means that if we say we are going to correct the errors with the signs, right, it means that a lot of people, like I mentioned, put either it's like they advertise certain things on the signs on the side of the road, billboards, right? But sometimes the signs are wrong, and I mean like grammatically wrong in the sense of the wording is incorrect. All right, so now during the course of the day, we are basically going to correct errors with our different signs. All right, so now when it goes, we are going back to our chapter now on usage errors, right? So the question is, what are grammatical errors? So we see that the question is, what are grammatical errors? And grammatical errors are part of a text that do not follow standard grammatical rules. So, of course, in English, we have like standard grammatical rules that we ought to follow when writing, right? So, some examples include errors involving parts of the speech. It can be either a word order, it can either be a subject or a verb agreement, or it can even be verb tense consistency. So it can be verb, subject or verb agreement, verb tense consistency. And that is usage errors. So once again, grammatical errors are part of a text that do not follow standard grammar rules, right? And some examples include errors involving parts of speech, word order, subject, or verb agreements, and verb tense consistency. And there are two types of errors, right? We have the random ones and we have the systematic one, the systematic error, right? We have a random error and we have a systematic error, right? So random errors they occur due to to chance, right? So there's always some variability when a measurement is made. So random errors may be caused by slight fluctuations in an instrument, an environment, or the way measurements is read that do not cause the same error every time. In this case, it can be grammatical errors that certain things that we haven't picked up, right? Maybe type errors. Those are more random ones. And when it comes to the usage, right? One of the examples, um, okay, we can basically say it's an example, but one of the examples is if you look at this picture in front of you, which is there, and there, right? And this is not the same. These three words are not the same. If you use the first word, which is there, right? Then it's basically you implying it's over there. You are showing in a form of direction. And that is what that word there means. It is over there. It's here, but it's there. That is what there means. When we look at the word there, right? It's like referring to people. It's like saying it's the car, it's the laundry, it's the property, right? That is what they mean by they. And thus that day refers to people. And then we have this there, which actually means they are. So basically, there and there and there are not the same. And I think a lot of people need to be reminded about that. And that is why, for example, a lot of errors are being made either on certain things or like posters or billboards, so on. It's because of not knowing sometimes the differences between certain words. And that is why we have usage errors and we have errors, for example, with signs. All right, so before we go on to our activities where we are going to fix the errors on the signs, right? We are also doing our tutorial classes or tutorial lessons on aplusstudents.ca. So we are going to aplusstudents.ca now. And we say that the lesson that we are doing under the chapter of usage error is to correct errors with signs. All right, so we're now basically going to look at the different signs, right? And we're going to correct the errors with the signs. So these are usually signs that you either see when you go to a public space, a public place, when you're driving along the road, or you're driving on the road and you'll see the signs along the road, right? And for some reason, you would think that if somebody puts up a sign, then they would also double check to see that it is correct, right? But there are a lot of, for example, errors that needs fixing, right? Because sometimes people get wording incorrectly. All right, so if we look at this first sign that says, "Thank you for your patience during construction." So if we look at this sign, right? So if we look at this sign that says, "Thank you for your patience during construction." And if we were to fix this, right, we will start by starting with patience. So we're going to start with patience, right? Because this word patient, right, it's to do with people that is in hospital, for example. It's like you're a patient. That is what this specific word means. But if they wanted to have patience, then the spelling is going to be different. All right, so if we're going to rewrite this, let's say the sign after we have selected the one error, then we're going to say is a different color. Then it's supposed to say, "Thank you for patients with a CE during construction. So basically this word patience, right, which is with a TS, it was supposed to be patience. Because if you want somebody to have patience, right, then we add the CE, not the TS. Because this patients on this board means it is hospital patients, people that is sick, that is in a hospital and so on. They are patients. So which means that we have now just corrected that one sign by adding patients with a CE instead of patients, which is TS, which refers to people that are either in hospital or so on, because that is what that patients mean. All right, so here we have another one. It says fire exit. Blocking this exit puts lives at risk. And if we were to select a word that we are going to have to change due to an error, then it's lives. So we have lives, right? And it says fire exit. Blocking this exit puts puts lives at risk. And if we rewrite that sentence, right, correctly, and then we're going to say it is blocking this exit puts lives at risk, right? Which means that the word that we changed was life to lives, right? Because if you want to show a plural form of life, then it will be lives, VES. All right, so we need to correct the one error, right? Where it says, we no longer accept personal checks. And the word that we are going to write correctly is accept. Because this word accept, it's like saying um, the grade sixes can go except one person, for example. It's like they say the boys can go except Caleb. The girls can go except Crochet or Cashmere, right? That is what that word accept means. So, which means that we need to change that word accept. And if we rewrite that whole sign, and then it's like saying, we no longer accept. So we no longer accept, and there's the correct word, personal checks. Even this one, right, was chick. We write like this. So personal chicks. So we no longer accept personal checks, meaning that you cannot come and write in a checkbook, right? We also changed or fixed the word accept to accept. And this is what we mean when we say we have usage errors or we have errors within, let's say, grammatical errors, right? And we made an example where we said we have random um, errors, right? Where with random errors, it is sometimes where you don't even pick up that you made a mistake because of certain words that are the same. For example, like accept and accept, right? Lives and lives, right? Those are but a few examples where you can see that, okay, like you haven't picked it up that it was a mistake because the words, they look similar. And this word accept, right, means it's for you to receive willingly. It's like I accept it. It's like I'm receiving it willingly. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so we're going to do the test, right? And then we're going to do a few more examples before we end off our lesson. So let's do a test where we correct signs or errors with signs. So we need to correct the one error within that picture. It says, welcome back, students. All right, so welcome back, students, right? So we need to change. So if we look at our specific error, right, or we correct the error with the sign, then we're going to correct the double L, right? With the double L, it should only be one L. So we're like, welcome back, students. Or welcome back, students, with the double L. So we will choose welcome back, students, with one L. So we see that we are removing the one L and then we're choosing the first option. Yes, well done. We're choosing the first one. And that is correct. So it's welcome back with one L. So warning, contents are flammable. So is it the first option, which is contents with the apostrophe S, or is it the second option, which is contents without the apostrophe and S are flammable? All right, so if we look at the word contents, right? You know, we usually put an apostrophe if you sometimes want to show position, if you want to show ownership of something, right? So when we use the word contents with an apostrophe, it means that the apostrophe will just have to fall away and we just add an S. Because that refers to contents, refers to more than one content. So which means that we are going to choose option 2, right? Not option 1 with the apostrophe. Well done, guys. Option 2 is correct. It says Bayside Community College. Next exit. So Bayside Community College. So is it the first option, which is Bayside Community College, or Bayside Community College with an EGE? So the word that we're changing is college. We're changing the word college. So it's going to be option 1, which is Bayside Community College with an AGE, or Bayside Community, the second option, college with an EGE at the end. So we are going to choose the second one. So for college. Yeah, that second, the first word collage, right, which is COLLAGE, right? That is when you put multiple pictures either on something, or you can even create multiple pictures on your phone, and that is what we call a collage, right? And that is the difference between college and collage. So well done. So thank you for the meaning of collage. Okay, then yeah, blocking this exit puts lives at risk, right? What is the correct form? How are we going to fix this error? It says blocking this exit puts lives with an F at risk, or blocking the exit put lives at risk with a V. So which one is correct? Option 1 or option 2? All right, then we're going with the second option, right? Because we're saying it's lives, which is plural form with a V, not lives, right? It's one life, but it's many lives. So well done. Number 2 is correct. Then it says we must correct one error, right? Buckle up. It's the law. So what do you think is the word that is incorrect here? So the first option is it's the law. And then the second one is it's the law. But now with the second one with it's, we have an apostrophe S, right? Which means that with the apostrophe and S, with the word it's like saying it is, right? It's like saying it is. So buckle up, it's the law. And so we must change the word it's and we're going to add the apostrophe. We're going to add the apostrophe because once we add the apostrophe S, then it means that it's like we are saying it is the law. So you need to buckle up because it is the law. So number 2 is correct. We no longer accept personal checks, right? All right, so we are only changing the word accept. We're only changing the word accept, right? So is it the first option, which is we no longer accept, which is still the same personal checks, or is the second option we no longer accept personal checks? So option 1 or option 2? And yes, we are going to choose option 2, right? Where we have changed the word accept. All right. Professional signs and lettering. Check was also spelled wrong, right? But I think they did not probably focus on the word check, because if they showed something like this with a pen, right? And then we're specifically talking about a check that you need to sign, right? So if it's a check that you need to sign, like a checkbook, then we write the word check, right? But they use the word check. It's like going to the doctor to check for a checkup, checking something in your bag, right? But that wasn't the focus. I think the focus was mainly on that one word, which was accept, and we had to change it to accept, right? So now we're looking at this specific sign. It says professional signs and lettering, right? We need to change this one, right? Because we cannot add an apostrophe. An apostrophe shows possession of something. Because if when it comes to sign, right, we have one sign and we have more than one signs, right? Not an apostrophe. If you add the apostrophe and then it is cool, it's incorrect, right? So sign means one sign, and then the second one is more than one sign. You can say it is a homophone, right? However, if it was basically to do with a signage, right, and something that you need to read, unless they are saying they don't accept you to come for a checkup, right? That is what the checks mean. But the actual check, they specifically had almost like a little page with a pen that you need to sign. Then that is an actual checkbook, like, because most companies nowadays tell you that we don't accept checks, right? It's either debit, it's either credit, right? Cards, it's either or cash, but not checks. But I think the main focus was only on the one area that they specifically looked at. All right, so now if we look at this word, right, it says professional signs and lettering. And if we were to look or select the correct sentence or the correct sign, and then we will say it is option 1. So option one without the apostrophe, because remember apostrophe, it shows either possession, it shows ownership of something, right? So we'll go with the first one because that just shows a plural form of the word. So well done. The first one is correct. Okay, let's go to the next one. It says stay in shape, lose weight. So lose weight. So now we need to know the difference between lose, which is this lose, and you need to know the difference between lose, right? So there is definitely a difference between lose and there's a difference between lose and lose. All right, and if we look at the first word lose, right? This word is a verb, right? And it means it's almost like you're losing something, you have lost something, right? It's like you have lost something, right? And then we have this word, lose. And lose, it can either be is an adjective, right? Where you can either say it's something that is not tight, it's not secured, it's not held together. So this is like saying that it is not tight. It's like we are saying this is not tight, right? So now if we look at our two words or two sentences where we need to change or look, basically choose the correct word, right? Are we going to say option one, which is stay in shape, lose, which is the first one, weight, or stay in shape, lose? We're going to leave it like that, weight. Which one is the correct one? Yes, and the first one is correct, right? We're going to choose the first option, which is LOSE, because that is like you lost something. You're losing your weight, right? So all the excess fat, it's being lost, which means that we are choosing the first one, which is lose weight. So well done, guys. All right. It says all dogs must be on leashes. So all dogs must be on leashes. Which word do you think we must change? Because there's a word that is only supposed to be a plural form. Yes, so the word dogs, right? So when dogs, this is plural, right? So they're saying all dogs, and when they say all dogs, and it means that it's basically one dog, two or more dogs, right? Not apostrophe. So which means that we are going to choose option two, and that is correct. Option two, because that basically just shows the plural form of it. So well done, guys. All right, let's do the last one. It says caution. You're under video surveillance. So this is a word that we are going to change now. So this word your, right? It's like saying it's mine, it's yours, right? But if they're saying you're under video surveillance, then they're basically referring to you. So it's like saying you're. We need to change this and add an apostrophe, which is going to be like you are under video surveillance, right? Because you can't just say your. It's like saying it's your apple, it's your bag, right? That is what they mean when they say it's yours, right? But if they are specifically saying that they are looking at you or something to do with you, and then we must say it's you are under video surveillance. So are we choosing option 1 or are we choosing option 2? All right, so we will basically choose option 1 because it's you are under video surveillance, right? So you're under video surveillance is like saying you are under video surveillance. So 1 is correct. Well done. All right, so let's just do 2 more signs before we end off. Okay, so here we have 2 more signs, right? It says, so fun, they won't even know they're learning. Look at the word there, right? And this is the example that I showed earlier on. Let me see. Yeah. Like over here. You see there we have the word there, which shows it's either here or there. And then we have there, which refers to like, either a group of people. It's like their belongings. Or we have this word, which is there, which is like they are, right? So these are 3 words that is not the same. So now if we look at this, it says, so fun, they won't even know they're learning. So what is this word between the 3 words that we just showed? How are we going to change this word to which word? So how are we going to correct that word? So fun, they won't even know they're learning. Yeah, so if we change this word, right, then we change this word to they won't even know they're learning. Because now it means like it's like saying they are learning, right? So there is incorrect, but we chose the correct word, which is there. So well done. That is correct. Let's do one more. Yeah, let's choose this one. Similar to the previous one. I'd say when it's gone, it's gone. When it's gone, it's gone. What is the wording or the letters or something that we need to change over here? Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. So now if we look at this word, right? These words, when it's gone, it's gone. How can we change these words? What is the correct word? Let's say the wording. Which word do we need to change or which word do we need to correct? So if we look at these words, right, the wording that we're going to change is it's, right? Because it's like saying it is. So it's like saying when it's gone, it's gone. Because it's like saying it is, right? That is what we mean, right? So that is the word that we had to change. All right, so that is now basically the end of our. All right, so this is basically the end of our lesson on usage errors. So we see that there are lots of errors that people make. Usually it can be random or it can be systematically. Systematically, it's usually when it's like a computer error. Randomly is where you maybe type something and then, automatically you don't know sometimes the difference between certain wording. Um, and then what we did was we corrected certain error signs, right, that we either see on billboards or maybe notices that people put on. So this is now the end of our lesson on usage errors. Thank you very much, grade sixes, for interacting. Thank you very much um for being part of the lesson, and I really hope you're going to have a good day further. All right, goodbye. Guys, can you hear me? Like